to the retreat. Hi, so it's May. Today's topic: passive income. Passive income with Airbnb, right? Like I said, my name is May. I live in Honolulu, Hawaii, and I used to be pretty bad with money. Right? I used to live paycheck to paycheck. You know, I used to have a lot of credit card debt. I had about $30,000 of credit card debt, and no equity in anything. Just working paycheck to paycheck. Started falling behind my bills. Ooh, cool. That'd be fun. Hawaii's great. I love Hawaii. I love living here. I didn't grow up here, so I really appreciate the beach and everything. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, so, which is cold. So it's nice here. Anyway, let me let you guys know a little bit about my story. So I ended up. That was back in 2012, where I ended up in my boss's office one day because I had found checks and I was afraid he would fire me because it wasn't his anything. They keep reports on people who do things like bounce checks, especially employees. If your check doesn't go through, the bank is paying your check. So you owe the bank money. So it's not good. It's not good. Hi guys, welcome to the Instagram live. Tell me where you guys are from. My author is in Hi guys. So thanks for joining Facebook Live as well. Thank you. So anyways, we're going to I was in a lot of debt. I was in my boss's office and he taught me some good skills. The first one he taught me was how to consolidate debt. He told me to write down my net worth and everything. And that was the first time I ever did my net worth, yeah. I never thought of doing it before. Oh, Michigan. Wow, cool. Welcome from Michigan. Cool. Thanks for being on live. Appreciate you. Nice. So, yeah, I ended up learning how to do my net worth. I did my cash flow, my net worth the first time in his office. I ended up applying for a debt consolidation loan. I consolidated my debt, so I got it off my credit cards, which were 16%, 14%. I moved it on to line of credit, which was like 5% at the time or something like that. And then I ended up using my credit cards again. So I ended up having line of credit debt and credit card debt. So I ended up not asking him for help again because I felt embarrassed. Because I was like, I just did it again. I don't know if you've ever done stupid stuff like this, but I have. So finally I stopped spending. Right? I took my credit cards and I put them somewhere where I couldn't touch them. Right? I was like, I'm not doing this again. Forget this overspending stuff. I'm not going to be in debt. So I stopped overspending, and I took it upon myself to learn about money. Okay, and so since 2012, in 2016, I finally became debt free. Right, South Africa. That's so cool. Wow, thanks for joining me, guys. A lot of people are from so many different places. So then April 2015, I paid off all my debt. That was the best ever because when I paid off all my debt, I no longer had to pay like $1,200 a month in debt payments. It was crazy how much I was paying in debt payments. If you've ever been in debt, you kind of understand what I'm talking about. If you feel like you'll never get out, and then finally, I don't know. When I got out, I was like so happy. So I'm very debt averse right now. I don't like to use debt for anything. So 2016 April, I ended up doing that. I paid off my debt. In December, I quit my job. Ended up starting to do this business part-time, spending a little more hours on it. I became a full-time mom in August of 2017. We took our son out of preschool because he was getting sick. Now he's healthy, so it's a really good thing. And what's the other thing? Oh yes, we went on 5 weeks of vacation in 2017, and we bought this condo. Wow! A lot of things in my life changed, and so I like to share the things that I'm doing with others, and I also coach others now in financial freedom. So if you're interested in becoming financially free, getting rid of debt, quitting your job, if you have a job, or just understanding how to make passive income, then I'm here to help you. Okay, so I also, while I was paying off debt, I was also creating passive income. Okay, so it was a step-by-step process I did together. And last week I talked about how to become financially free. So you can actually go to the replay of that on my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com, and see that. But today I'm going to talk about passive income from Airbnb. All right. So that's today's topic. So you know who I am. My name is May. That's my past, that's my history. Thank you for joining in today. So today, like I said, is passive income. Passive income. That's funny when we're so close. I don't have a thing to put on the board yet. From Airbnb. I don't see that. Just kind of, huh? Yeah, you can see it. Good. Passive income from Airbnb. All right. So let's talk about it. Airbnb is a website, yeah, where you can, like wherever you're living, you can tell people about where you live, and then you can tell them, hey, you can stay at my place instead of a hotel, right? And then they pay you money online, and then they book you online, and then they come and stay. So you can either Airbnb a room in your house, you can Airbnb, I guess you can Airbnb a couch, I've heard. You can Airbnb a condo. So let's talk about it. Passive income. Can you make passive income with Airbnb? That's the question today, right? This is a good question because the person who suggested we do Airbnb, he is definitely not making passive income. He's very active in his income generation, which means that he's always working, right? So if you don't know what passive income is, let's just talk about it real quick. Passive income means you don't have to work to make the money, all right? So my husband and I have a lot of dividend yielding stock, right? Particularly, we have a lot of real estate investment trusts, and that gives us a lot of passive income. We don't do anything except buy it, okay? Every now and then we look at it, but that's it. So, you buy the stock, you pay the dividends, it goes in your account, you take it out to your checking account. That's what happens with us. Okay, it's very passive. If we died, it would still pay, and we would just pass it on to our son, Jordan. If we have, I'm doing great, thank you. So if we have any more children, we pass it on to them. So that's passive income. Okay. Now, Airbnb could be passive, and I know people who do make it passive. So let's talk about how to make an Airbnb passive. All right, and I'm going to use some real life examples in this demonstration today. So the first one I was going to do is my husband and I are actually looking at condos now in Waikiki to do Airbnb, right? So I was going to do some of those numbers for you to see what we've been finding out that how much it costs and stuff. So we're going to do some basic numbers. I'm going to take you through an analysis of to calculate how to do return on investment to see if it's a good investment or not. Okay. So, and we'll talk about it as well. So the first thing I want to talk about, and I made a little presentation here, is the details of the condos. Okay. So there's some details of the condos, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So the condos are all in Waikiki, right? They're really just across the street in this condo. We live in Waikiki, right? And so these condos are right across the street. We're interested in them because their prices are low, all right? Lower compared to other condos. So their price range is like $179,000 to $250,000, all right? And other condos we've seen, they start out at $238,000 and they go up, right? So this one has a lower price range, and the income is the same as the ones that are 200 something. Same. Like you could make about $85, $95 a night, $100 a night. Not a huge difference in income, okay, between the two buildings. So, or the different buildings. So this one's just cheaper, so it just makes more sense. Okay, so that's why we're looking at this particular building. Right. So what I'm going to tell you is a little bit about these condos. They're about 230 to 245 square feet. So they're not very big. They're like hotel room size. Okay. So you would basically be Airbnb-ing a hotel room. All right, just like if you were a hotel. The nice thing about these condos is that they're zoned. Okay, they're zoned for short-term rental. This is important. All right, I'm going to put this down as number one. First key, if you want to make passive income with Airbnb, is it has to be okay. Like it has to be zoned for it. So a lot of people get in trouble doing Airbnb if they're doing it in a neighborhood, and there's a lot of people staying at your house, and the people around you are like, who are these people coming all the time? They might complain. So people like to have a little stability in the neighborhood. Yeah, they don't want too much. I mean, not everyone, but there are people who do. So number one is zoned for hotel Airbnb. Now I learned this from people who are actually doing Airbnb. Okay, you want to have your place be zoned for Airbnb. What happens if it's not? Okay, so I know people who have bought condos and it was not zoned for Airbnb, and what happened was they had to sell it because the board in the condo didn't like that they were doing that. Okay, so if you're going to do Airbnb and you're really serious about it, you need to be sure that the condo you're in allows you to do it. Okay, and so this is kind of important. So when I talk to our real estate agent to look for places, he only looked for places that were zoned for it, where the board agrees with it, where they say it's fine, you can do short-term rental, totally cool. So that's what we're looking for, all right? So that's the number one thing. I know a lot of people who buy condos, they just assume that because they bought in Waikiki that it's zoned, and then the board starts complaining about that, they get in trouble. And one girl I know said she's going to sell it because she's getting in trouble all the time. They keep complaining about her. So you need to be zoned for Airbnb, and this happens a lot. She's not the only one I know. Our former roommate in the last place we lived before we moved into this condo, we rented and we had a roommate. She told us that she used to do Airbnb and she sold her condo for the same reason. The board was complaining, so she sold it and she bought condos in a building that allows Airbnb. Okay, so make sure your building is zoned for Airbnb. Otherwise, you're gonna have a headache. The board's gonna complain about you. You probably have to sell it anyway. Okay, so that's the first thing. All right. The second thing, number two, you need to calculate your ROI. Calculate your ROI. So I'm going to do some ROI calculations now. ROI means return on investment, okay? So you need to calculate your return on investment before you get in on it to make sure that it makes sense, right? Now you might think that's obvious or not. You might not know how to calculate return on investment, so we're going to do that today. A lot of people I've seen just jump into these things and they don't really calculate return on investment too much. Or they don't really think about it in terms of how much work it'll be. A lot of people I know who started Airbnb end up working the Airbnb. They quit their job and all they're doing is Airbnb. That might be a good thing. Maybe you don't like your job and you want to do Airbnb instead of your job, in which case that's fine. But a lot of people, I don't think they realize how much work it will be. They start an Airbnb and then they get stuck in all this work and they end up wanting to sell it because it's either too much work or they quit their job to run it because it is work. All right, so we're talking today about passive income. All right, so that's the thing. There's a line between when it becomes passive and active. So let's talk about that. Okay. So in the examples that I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about real condos. So I looked at some with our real estate agent. We got some real numbers. We're going to work on some real numbers with you and give you an example and show you one that may or may not work for everyday average people. So, okay. So we're going to have, there's one available that's $179,000. Okay, so the asking price is $179,000. So it's been on the market a little while. $178,000 is asking. So we're gonna do an example where we offer 150,000. Now I don't know if they'll take 150,000, but this is just an example to show you we're gonna offer 100. We're thinking of. I'm not saying we're going to. What we're thinking of offering 150,000. All right. So let's talk about what would be the return on investment. So how can you calculate that? You basically need to have. You need to know how much money you can invest. All right. You need to know. Can you invest the whole 150,000 in cash, or do you need a mortgage? How are you going to do it? For me and my husband, like I said, we are actually both in debt for a while. Got out of debt, but we didn't. And we did invest, but we didn't. Not exactly true, but we don't really want to spend 150,000 cash to buy the car, so we would get a mortgage, right? There's pros and cons to mortgages, all right? One of the pros is that you gain equity. If someone else is paying your mortgage, you gain equity in the property as if you have a mortgage. And so that's one of the pros of having a mortgage, yeah? But anyway, you don't have to put as much money down, right? Now, the terms today for mortgages are, you have to check that, right? So we actually talked to our banker and figure out what the terms would be. In this particular building, they don't allow standard mortgages because it's kind of like a hotel. Okay? And if you find a building that's zoned for Airbnb, it might not allow regular mortgages. Okay, so we have to get a portfolio mortgage, which is a mortgage that the bank will allow us to have. The terms that the bank will give us is 4.5% for 15 years. Okay, so they'll give us 4.5% for 15 years, and that's the term. They said that we can amortize it for 30, which means we can pay it like it's a 30-year loan, and then at the end of the 15 years, we have a balloon payment of $70-something thousand. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't like balloon payments. Balloon payments cause a housing crisis. They're not necessarily bad. It depends what you're doing. You know, if you're a very savvy investor and you know what you're doing, you can always redo the loan in 15 years and go with the current rate at that time. Okay, so there's different things. I think to the heart, appreciate it. There's different things you can do, but basically the terms of the loan are 4.5 for 15 years. You need to put 30% down. Okay, so 30% down. This is the mortgage term, right? 30% down, 179,000, 150,000. We're gonna offer 150,000. So if it's 30% down, right? Take 0.3 multiply by 150, you get 45,000. You have to put down $45,000. So your investment or down payment. Your investment or down payment is $45,000. Okay, you're offering 150. The down payment has to be 30%. It has to be $45,000. It's amortized for 30 years, but my husband and I said if we got a mortgage like that, we would probably pay it as if it were a 30-year loan, so we didn't get that balloon payment. So the mortgage payment would be, let's see, I calculated this out for you guys. I think it'd be 803. Let me just go with that. 803. $803.24. Yeah. Okay, so the mortgage payment would be $803.24. Okay, so $803.24. So we would have to pay $803.24 a month to buy this property just for the mortgage. Okay. So now you have to figure out, is this a good investment? Is this going to be a passive income investment? Now I checked the other expenses. The other expenses that include the maintenance fee is $390. You have to pay for electricity and internet, so it's going to be about $200. We estimated $200. So you already have another $390 plus $200 is $590, right? And then you have to add like miscellaneous expenses, like you have to buy supplies, right? So that's $440. Then you have to add in the taxes. The taxes are about $50 a month. So then you have 490 taxes, and that's property tax. And then you have sales tax, and you have GET tax, which is in Hawaii. In Hawaii, we have this thing called general excise tax. They charge 4% on anything you sell. So if people stayed in your Airbnb, you'd have to pay 4%. Okay, and if they're coming short term, like a hotel, you have to pay 10% on top of that. So you have to pay 14% in taxes as well. So if you add up all those costs, and I did in a separate sheet, I added up all those costs. So the total cost, including mortgage and all of that stuff, per month to own this condo, okay? The total expenses are $1,789. $1,789.10. That's the total expenses. Okay? Alright, so now you kind of got an idea of how to calculate, sort of, we're going through this return of investment example. Basically, right now we're calculating, is this going to make us enough money to actually invest in it, alright? So we've got the price we're going to offer is $150,000. Don't know if they'll take it or not, but that's the price we're going to offer. The down payment would have to be $45,000. That means we have to have $45,000 in cash. The loan terms we can get, okay, are the 30% down, which is why we have $45,000. The mortgage payment would be $803.24 because they're going to give us a 4.5 interest rate for 15 years, right? The total expenses with the mortgage and everything else is $1,789.10. So the only way that you could do this property and create enough income to make it passive, right, is first of all, to make passive income with an Airbnb, you need to hire a cleaner, right? And you need to hire a manager. That's how you can make it passive, right? Now, your manager could be your cleaner. If they want to do both, they can do that. I've seen people do that. So their manager is their cleaner. That happens. So that's what you need. You need to have a manager. You need to have a cleaner. It could be the same person. Now, how much do you pay them? Well, you have to figure that out with them, but you need to give them a fair rate, right? So basically, the certain things about this Airbnb, you need to have enough money to pay them. Let's say, and I met this woman who lives in my building here, okay, and she actually cleans Airbnbs. She doesn't manage them, she cleans them, and she gets paid about $1,000 a month. Now, she cleans a condo like this, so it's a bigger condo, it's double the size. But she gets paid $1,000 a month to clean one condo every time they need it. All right, so that's her rate. So let's say because the condo is half the size, maybe you only need to charge $5. Maybe you only have to pay $5. I don't know if that's true, but let's say you only have to pay $500 a month, okay? Because the condo is half the size. Maybe that's true. All right, we're just gonna go with it again. So you're gonna need $500 a month for cleaning. Sorry. $500 a month for a cleaner. You need $500 a month for a cleaner. Hey guys, thanks for joining in. Nice to see you all. You need $500 a month for a cleaner, and you need money to hire a manager, right? Now, if the manager is the cleaner, that'd be great, but I doubt if you'd only charge $500 a month. Just because this cleaner woman I know in this building charges $1,000 a month to clean one place, and she's not managing. So now I was talking to some people, and like Airbnb managing, you basically have to list it online. You just have to talk to people. You have to make sure they check in, check out okay. In the building, you put a lockbox, so you can be there, but you have to be available to talk to them on the phone. How much would someone charge to do that, right? And honestly, I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm not sure, how much would someone charge to manage an Airbnb? So I think we were saying maybe about $300 a month would be good to start, see if you can get people, because that's something young people can do. They don't necessarily, they just want to have something they can make money. So we're going to say $300 a month, just as a guess, for the managing. So to manage it, you need about 300. So if you look at it that way, all right, to make this passive income, you have to have the 1789.10, $1,789.10. Okay. Then you have to add in $500 for the cleaning, and you have to add in about $300 for managing. Right. So what is that total? I didn't add that number up. So let's do that now because I already knew that when I did the math, it was like, oh my God, I don't think we can make that much of a condo. But anyway, let's find out. Plus $800 basically. You need, so your expenses to make this passive and go on its own, okay? The break-even point where you're not making any income, adding up all these expenses is $2,589.10. So basically, if your condo cannot make more than that, anything you make above that is passive income. Okay? So anything you make above $2,589.10 is passive income. Well, let's talk about it. How much does this condo make? All right, so that really comes down to that. Does this condo make, enough income that we can make more than $2,589 a month? Now, when I was looking at listings, and if you want to check listings, my real estate agent helped me. You just Google Airbnb and you Google the building you're living. Okay, so we took the building name and we Googled Airbnb, the building name. We found like 6 different listings, and I averaged kind of how much do they make. Oh, yeah, sorry, I know it's backwards, sorry. In order for me to see you, it has to be backwards unless I turn the camera around or something. Thanks for your understanding. I hope you can read it backwards. Okay, so let's take a look. So if you could charge, the average was about like $85 a night. Now, my real estate agent is like, you can totally charge more if you make it real nice, renovate it, make it look pretty, you get professional photos. And let's just say for the sake of argument, okay, that you can do $95 a night, okay? So $95 a night. Now, I was looking on the listings. I was asking him, how many nights is it going to be full? Is it going to have people in it every night, And it's not necessarily going to be full every night, but let's just say you're full 25 nights in a month. If you do $95 a night and you're full 25 nights of the month, which is pretty, I guess to him that was about the right number, right? Then you're only making $2,375 a month. You're making less than your expenses, right? So in this case, for this condo, you cannot make passive income. If you're going to do a mortgage, you cannot make passive income with this person. You could actively manage it, and then you'd make money, which is what a lot of people end up doing. But you cannot with this particular condo in Waikiki, which might cost about $150,000 with a mortgage of 4.5% average for 15 years. You're not going to make passive income if you buy it. It has to be active. You have to clean it. You have to manage it to make money. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine, but that's not passive income, right? So that's not going to work, all right? So this particular condo, you're not going to be able to generate passive income. Now, I'm glad I did this analysis beforehand because then I just finished analyzing it last night. My husband asked me to analyze it and see, can he take out money from his retirement account, buy a condo, and the Airbnb, and be a really good investment. So in terms of being a good investment, if you don't mind working it, if you don't mind running an Airbnb, it might be a good investment because equity will go up over time, that kind of thing. But in terms of passive income generation, it's not a good investment because you're not going to make any passive income. You have to work it yourself. Okay? Now, is that a bad thing? Maybe not, right? There are a lot of people who do Airbnb for a living. They like it. They enjoy doing it. It's not as hard as a job. It's a lot of flexibility. You really only have to be there, make sure they check in, check out, okay, answer your phone. If there's an issue, fix it. You don't have to be there all the time. You have to clean it, right? But if you like cleaning or don't mind cleaning, then it's okay. So it really depends on you if it's a good investment. But for passive income generation, this particular condo is not a good investment if you are doing a mortgage. Now, if you're not doing a mortgage, you can take $800 out of here and then you could make passive income. If it was just a cash purchase, like you had $150,000 cash and you put it down, then it could make you passive income. Because then if you generate this $2,500 a month and your expenses are only, it would only cost you about $1,700 a month. And if you could generate more than that, then yes, you could make passive income. So if you put down cash, the only problem is if you put down cash, you're not going to get equity from someone else paying your mortgage, right? And you have to hope that the equity value of the condo itself goes up. So that's another thing to consider. But so there you have it. It's an actual example of Airbnb in Hawaii and how to calculate if it'll make you passive income. I hope this was helpful. I'm sorry that it's backwards for a lot of you. If you go to my blog, it'll be the right direction. But I wanted to actually see who was on and see you guys. So maybe next time I'll turn it around the other way. That way it'll be the right way and you can see it without it being backwards. Thank you for being on live. Really appreciate everyone. I hope this was helpful to you. I know a lot of people are thinking of doing Airbnb. If you already own a house and you just want to Airbnb your room, definitely could. I don't think you would get in trouble with your neighborhood. Maybe I'm not sure, but that's also not passive income, right? Because you have to actively manage it. So Airbnb in general is not passive income unless you hire a manager. And there are people who do. There are people who hire managers. So I'm not going to say it's not, but it really depends on what you're working with, your numbers, how much you can put down, what's your mortgage term. So be sure to understand that and get the full information before you decide to do an Airbnb. Make sure you understand what you're doing. Otherwise you might have to buy it and sell it, like a lot of people I know who just found out it was too much work or not, the board didn't approve it. Or you might quit your job and run it, and maybe that's a good thing for you. But for passive income generation, you really need to really analyze it beforehand. Okay, so check out my blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com, to see full details of this whole thing. Today's lesson was on passive income generation with Airbnb. Thank you for being so patient with me. I got on late this morning. I really appreciate you all for being a fan on Instagram, on Facebook, and for being on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel you're on. Check out the link in the profile. The link will take you to the services I offer, which help people become financially free. We teach you how to do things like this, return of investment examples. So you can understand how to create real passive income in your life and create real time freedom, as opposed to making yourself busier without knowing it. So have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Aloha. Definitely go to the blog, yesfinanciallyfree.com, for more information and get on my email list. Thanks, guys. And anytime you have questions, just find me and ask me, message me. Let me know if you want me to do a certain topic. Okay? Have a great day, and thank you again for being on my email list, being on YouTube, and watching this video. I really appreciate everyone here. I hope this example helps you a lot, and good luck with your passive income generation. And if you're doing Airbnb, good luck with that too. Bye.